Welcome to the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show on iHeart Radio. Coming up, more car talk that you want to know.
Yes.
Including selecting road trip tires. That's going to come up in our next hour.
Well, maybe.
I got to drive the 2022 Lexus ES300h. I'll tell you my thoughts on it. We've got the cruise-in calendar, This Week in Auto History, plus the stories making car news this week. Just ahead in this hour of the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Howdy, along with Mike out of this world Mars, we need more Jeff Zekin. I'm Don Armstrong. Glad you could join us today. And joining us right now on the Zoom app is Angelica Brothers with Hagerty.
Hey.
Angelica, good morning.
Good morning.
It's good to see you. Huh?
I know. I get to see you, almost back to back last week or 2 weeks ago?
It was two weeks ago. Yeah,
was it
you
2
were
weeks ago.
Garages.
Okay.
Yeah, you were out there at Garages of Texas hawking business.
I was.
Hawking business.
Well, how have you been? What's been going on? Have you been busy?
Very busy. I went to Amelia Island for the big car show.
Oh my
there in
God, you
March.
did.
I'm bragging.
Yeah,
It
you
was
are making us
amazing.
jealous. How do we get on this Hagerty junket trips that you get on?
You can just come with me. I'll put you in my suitcase.
There you
Yeah,
go.
I was
I
gonna
take
say,
lots of them.
yeah, no doubt. So Hagerty Insurance. So for those that watch our show, listen to our show, why don't we just start with the basics? And we see Hagerty every once in a while, but it's not a Progressive and it's not an Allstate or a State Farm, is it?
We are not. But we do partner with some of those folks because they don't have a program like we do where we insure the collector vehicles. So
Collector. And what is considered a collective vehicle in the insurance industry?
it's going to be a vehicle that does not go down in value or maybe increases in value. It does well in the car world market. It may sell for a lot more than you bought it for. They may be in short production, or there may be only a few of them. Any classic at this point, any car that's over 25 years old would be considered a collector.
Okay, so has it moved from 20 years old to 25 years old now?
Yes.
When
For
did-
us, it's usually 25 years old.
25 years old.
Mhm.
So in other words, my car, my 21-year-old car, doesn't qualify again anymore.
So your car does qualify, but we cannot be your primary insurance carrier. So you have to have
So you know
another.
what? So what kind of
Yeah,
crap is that?
yeah, there's a question.
Would,
I have
would
that
you would you
question.
please explain that to me?
Okay, now I know that Mike set me up. This is a trap.
So really,
So we just want you to have your daily driver, right? I know you get to drive all the cool cars because you get all the press cars. Like, I'm very jealous about the Lexus, by the way. So we have to have you have a State Farm, an Allstate, a Farmers policy for that daily driver, and then we can take your fun car and insure that one.
but you see, I already have insurance on my fun car through Allstate.
Yeah, I know, but we can't take it.
So here's a question I have. So it went from 20 years to 25 years. I've got a 21-year-old car, say, and I get it insured through Hagerty, and then whoops, we changed it to 25. Do I still have insurance if I got to go back?
Yeah,
Am I canceled?
It's always been 25 years for Hagerty in particular. I don't know if like the registration or getting classic or antique plates is 20 years, but if you already have a policy with us, that policy is going to be active unless you don't pay the premium and it cancels for
Or
non-payment.
until Don's car gets to be 24 and a half years old.
they-
And they're
it's
going
30.
to move it up to
At
30.
There you go. Woo. And you
That's-
can't.
No. See, the thing is, we insure new cars too. So even if you have a 2022 Corvette, we'll insure that one as long as it's not your primary mode of transportation.
Your daily driver.
Or yellow.
Yes.
So you get to drive. You get to insure all of these really cool classic cars, whether it's a Amphicar or it is a 1966 Shelby GT 500 or whatever the case may be. Some
Right.
classic, really cool, very rare car. How do you price insurance for something that, it could be worth $5 million. How do you insure that? If I tell you my car is worth $10 million and you say, okay, how do you insure that?
Well, you may tell us that it's $10 million, but if it's not selling in auction or in private sales or at a dealership for $10 million and you can't justify that value, we probably will not insure it for $10 million.
So how do you justify the value of a car?
We have a whole team that keeps track of what's going on in the market. So they actually attend all the auctions. So Mika and Barrett Jackson, all the big events like in Scottsdale in California, in Florida. They also keep track of dealership sales.
Now, are these the guys that wear the funky teeth and the the Beatle haircut wigs and stuff like
glasses and the fake nose?
Yeah, try to blend in.
That's very possible.
Yes, we know how you insurance people roll.
So you were at Amelia Island. How many policies did you write out there?
Well, me personally, I'm still working on a big one, but it hasn't happened yet. But it was more of a networking event for us. And then we just purchased that event last year. So it was the first time that it was an actual Hagerty event, 100%.
Oh.
So I'm sure some of my coworkers who live in Florida sold a lot more than I did. But so there weren't a lot of Texas folks over there.
Let's go back to what we were talking about earlier, and that is how to place a value on a car. So you've got people that go to car auctions, and you know what these cars sell for typically. So let's just use let's come up with something that is rare. How about a 69 Camaro Z28 numbers matching car? And I just paid $200,000 for it at Mecum, and this car is all original, numbers matching, top of the line. How do I justify that with you?
Well, if you have a receipt that you pay that for it, we'll take that, right? Because now you have documentation showing that that car was worth that much because it sold for that much.
At an auction that typically deals with that kind of stuff, not just some guy that was in the newspaper.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. But I may have paid $200,000 for it, but in reality, in all of the other auctions, that car may have been worth only $100,000. How do you handle that?
So we do check comparables, kind of like real estate.
So you can so when you do that, so you can sit back and laugh and go, this guy, he just got ripped off to no end.
Yeah, let me sell him my Volkswagen now.
Well, I'm not that mean, but you may do that.
Yeah, and you know Don Armstrong well enough to go, yep, he would do that.
Yeah, that's
he
him.
Would totally do that in public on a radio show too.
That's exactly. And I would admit to it.
You're right, because you're an honest person.
Yeah.
But no, we have all our underwriters are amazing, and they know what's going on in the market. We have a lot of resources in hand, and we always try to make it as easy as possible for the client. So if you pay $200,000 and we can justify that value, we'll work with you to put that on there and get you the policy for what you need.
Now, what if I have a collection of cars? Let's say that the Don Armstrong dummy buying experience has purchased a collection of 60 cars. Do I get a discount because I've got 60 cars?
Absolutely. So anytime you go over $500,000, you get put into another type of policy. It's called the expert collector policy. And at that point, your cars are insured as if they were a piece of art or jewelry. So you have coverage all over the world. And then you pay for liability, but not on each car. You just have like an umbrella liability coverage, which makes it a lot.
So in other words, I mean, if I had, God forbid, I had a museum or, the Don Armstrong experience where I display all of the cars, and let's just say that the whole thing went up in a big blaze because lightning
call those junkyards.
Yeah. the whole thing went up in a big blaze because lightning struck the building, you would be able to cover all of those cars.
All of those cars. So the more the merrier. We have excellent multi-car discounts. So the bigger your collection is, probably the better the rate would be. But the coverage is the most important part, right? Not just the price. So if you have on top of the cars, you may have stuff like the Hemi Hideout, and you have a bunch of neon signs and gas pumps and all that kind of stuff. We'll cover that too on that collection policy.
Interesting. Okay. Now,
So-
you also mentioned that you're also writing policies for new cars. Is that
Yes.
something new? Because I didn't know that you did that.
It's been at least 6 or 7 years since we started adding what we call the modern collector. But it's basically any Corvette, any Porsche, not the SUVs, but all the exotics.
But the
Well,
rule
and-
still stands that cannot be your daily driver.
It cannot be your daily driver.
Gotcha.
That's the rule.
So in other words, if I went and bought a special edition 2022 Corvette with 1,000 horsepower, they're only
Yes.
going to build 5 of them, and I'm going to put it in the garage, then it would qualify.
Absolutely.
Okay, I got it. All
So
right.
if you have a collection, you've got 5 cars and they're $1 million overall. Do you have to let Hagerty know that you're going to be using one or maybe taking one to a show so that you're making you well aware of what you're doing with the vehicle?
No. The only time you would have to do that is if you tell us, hey, all my cars are never driven and I just want comprehensive coverage on them if they catch on fire or if they flood. And you don't have liability on them, then you would call us to tell us. But if you just have a regular policy and you have a collection, you don't have to let us know necessarily what you're doing with them. If you want to go to the grocery store with one of your cars, that's fine, or just out to dinner, whatever you want to do, as long as you're not taking it to work every day.
So
That's about it.
speaking of things catching on fire, in my collection, since we're what if I've got a 1957 Chevy, real nice car, but now I've converted it from a V8 to an electric vehicle.
Project X.
Well, you're
Project
a dummy.
X. Okay.
We insure those too. I just found that out. So apparently that's a new trend. Mike and I were talking about that, where you can convert your classic car or any car, right, into an electric vehicle. And we will insure those vehicles. It would be rated as a modified vehicle, so the rate may be a little bit higher. But the new electric motor and everything else would be covered under the Hagerty policy.
But there was some limitations we were talking about.
The limitations we were talking about is you have to buy a professional kit. Even if you install it yourself, the kit has to be official or
What we would call a
professional.
crate motor, and General
Exactly.
Motors actually has those.
Well, so does Ford, but
not a shade tree.
But so I was asking her about that, and if you buy the crate motor, that's not a complete kit because you don't have all the controllers and all the batteries.
But why
and all-
would you buy that without the controller? Because you can't do anything with it without the controller.
Well, but the way I understood Angelica, though, it was you can buy the complete kit with everything, controllers,
Yeah.
everything. That. But now if you go out to buy that crate motor from Ford or Chevrolet, then you go over here to Joe Blow's and you buy the controller, and then you go out to ABC
Oh,
Batteries
yeah.
and buy the battery.
Right.
If you piece it together,
That doesn't count.
that doesn't count.
That doesn't count. No.
Gotcha.
Or
Well,
if you have a shop, install it and convert it, that's covered too.
Do
We
you-
just don't want you doing it yourself in the garage if we
With
don't
the
know
shade
where
tree
the-
mechanic
so
out there.
do you grade these facilities? I mean, is there a facility that says, "Hey, I want to do this. Can you help me out? Can you recommend?" Or you're on your own?
We don't usually recommend anybody but shops that may be able to fix your car after you've had an accident. We have a list of shops that we will recommend to clients, but I don't think the electric conversion shops have made it into the.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
that's
because
drilling down
you remember
too
we
much.
talked to some of those guys down there in Florida that was doing it and showing people how to do it. And then versus the guys that we talked out in Long Beach that you actually bring your vehicle in here,
Right.
park it, and they do everything.
Right. But they are also the parts supplier, the controllers, the hemostats, and all the other stat things that they've got underneath the hood that I know nothing about.
Right.
But
and I think that's the point of what the underwriter is telling her is that, this is such a new technology that the shade tree guys, for sure.
Well, let's
lost.
just say, for instance, that we're in the In Wheel Time Car Club, and that the three of us decide that we're going to have a Project X of our own. I am not going to piece together something like that.
No.
I'm going to go to Ford. I'm going to go to Chevrolet, a Tesla, or whoever it is that sells the whole kit and caboodle, and that's what I'm going to put in there.
Right.
Not only is it going to make it easier for me, I don't have to reinvent the wheel that's already been invented, and then I go to her, and now I can insure it. Just makes it a whole lot simpler.
Well, and for newbies like us, I absolutely agree with you. That's what the majority are going to do. But there's going to be some of them out there that have done it once or twice. I'm going to say, well, I can do better than buying this kit. I'm going to piece. It's kind of like building computers.
I understand.
And there'll be some that'll do that.
Yeah. Well, so how – I know that one of the times that we have talked in the past that you were able to significantly reduce the car insurance that we were paying for a Corvette, say, for instance, that only gets driven. I haven't driven mine now in 5 weeks. So you were significantly less than, let's just say, Allstate or State Farm or Progressive or any of those other car insurance companies. And you're able to do that because I don't drive it that much.
Right. So whenever you start the policy, we'll ask you, hey, how many miles do you drive this a year? And if you tell us under 1,000, we'll rate you for under 1,000 miles. Now, if you decide to take a road trip all across the USA and it goes over the 1,000 miles, that's fine. We don't
penalize you. Yeah.
Cancel you. We don't penalize you. It's fine. We want our clients to use their cars, but that's how we rate based on your estimated mileage.
So if I wanted to go on, for instance, the Hot Rod Power Tour, which is one of those that happens every summer, it's coming up here in a couple of weeks, I think, that it goes from, I don't know, Erie, Pennsylvania to Chicago over a 5-day period of time. And I know for a fact from the pictures that I have seen, I've not been on it yet, that the pictures that I've seen, it's every kind of classic collector car that you could ever want. And I would imagine that most of them would have a Hagerty sticker on the back of it if they would put a sticker on their car, because that's the kind of insurance that they have.
Absolutely. And that we totally encourage you to do stuff like that. And a lot of times if you're using the car for what we call hobby use, so you're taking it to the car show or you're meeting with your car club friends or you have coffee and cars, those miles technically don't count towards your usage that you told us at the beginning. So
really the only problem that you would have with any kind of a classic would be like, for instance, Don the Snake Prudhomme's 1969 Top Fuel dragster that I run on the drag strip every once in a while. That would be an issue.
That would be an issue because racing is never covered, not under Hagerty policy or any other policy.
Got it. I just wanted to make that clear.
Yes. Do not try this at home.
Somebody's going racing.
But you know Don Armstrong, don't you?
I do know him.
Yes.
You better get yours out on the road.
But she doesn't like to tell anybody that she knows him. And I can totally
She was hanging her head while she was saying that.
Yes, dear God, I do not know this man
I
forever.
wanted to emphasize it with some drama.
Yeah, right.
You need to put one of those things on the TV when they have to black out the witness. You know, the
blur thing.
The blue witness.
Yeah.
Yes.
Pixelate the face.
Pixelate. There you go.
Angelica, it's always a pleasure to talk to you. Thanks so much for joining us and bringing us up to date on great product from Hagerty. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
If
you.
you'd like to get in touch with us, shoot us an email. The address is info@inwheeltime.com. Time now for the cruise-in calendar.
Got the cruising killer. I'm on deck. Here we go. Saturday, May 14th, 8 a.m., the Arkansas Camaro Fest. Bring your mullet. I know Conrad's been promoting this in Eureka Springs, Arkansas. That's wonderful.
What?
Yeah. Bring your mullet. Saturday, May 7th, from 5 to 9, Beaumont Main Street Gala. That's right up your alley there.
Yes,
Jefferson Theater. Can you tell
Do you
us
know
more?
about that?
I do know about that. It's going to be pretty cool. In fact, I'm trying to get somebody lined up to join us.
No,
as
are
a
you
guest
going to
there.
go?
Yes, because it'll be part of it in the evening after we get through with the show. I'll have time to get back and get to it.
Wonderful.
Really?
Yeah.
Yep.
Are you going to wear the great big in-wheel time shirt, or is that the sandwich board you're going to take?
I hadn't thought of that.
See, what a great idea. There goes Mars with the sandwich board.
There you go. What's on special today? Well, on May 20th at 6 p.m. through the 21st, which is the next day at 11:45 to 11:45, Space City Showdown 3.0 at Houston Raceway. How about that? May 20th at noon through the 22nd, Go Topless Weekend Crystal Beach.
God.
Yeah, I
Steer
know.
Every weekend for
steer-
me.
I
but
saw that. I
steer
read
clear
that.
of that
Yeah.
thing.
Oh, yeah.
I was
I
gonna
would never do that again.
86 that off that. Saturday, May 21st, 9 to 3, Magnolia Days Festival Car Show at 1014 Milam Street in Columbus, Texas, not far from here. Saturday, June 11th, 10 a.m., Surfside, Texas Beach Cruise. I lived in Clute.
Wait
loved
just a
Surfside.
minute. They don't
Yeah.
have a beach in
Yeah, they
Surfside
do. Yeah,
anymore.
well, they're
there's no. You cannot drive on the beach at
Well, that doesn't mean
Surfside.
You
there's-
can.
Doesn't mean there's not a beach there.
They're importing it from Beaumont.
Okay, go
We're
ahead.
pumping it in.
They're pumping it in. August 12th, 10 a.m. Through the 14th till 6 p.m. The 2022 Texas Wake and Scrape. That's what it says. Texas Wake
Mhm,
and
mhm.
Scrape at 3925 State Highway 30 in Huntsville, and that's 77340.
Leads right to the penitentiary.
There you go. Oh,
right.
Sparky.
Yep, that's it. All right, time now for this hour's car review. The 2022 Lexus ES is the car. The
Okay.
available trim levels include the 250, the 300H, and the 350. I had the 300H, which is a hybrid. It is a midsize four-door sedan, 5 passengers. It is part of the 7th generation of the ES, introduced in 2019. Boy, this is a nice car.
Mhm.
The exterior features include updated spindle grille that is the face of the Lexus brand. Older BMW style bustle trunk lid with incorporated spoiler. I looked at that thing, I think, wait a minute. I remember when BMW came out with the deal that looked like that back in the day. I'm like, okay, it's not bad, actually. Attractive, modern slash lighting, front and rear. Get the big optional wheels, please. I mean, it does make a difference in the overall look. What I liked about it, the total modern design of this sedan. And I bring that to your attention because they ain't making many sedans anymore. What could use improvement? I'm not going to say grill. Interior highlights, roomy, comfortable interior, absolutely beautiful. Seating is superb. Infotainment screen actually now is touch sensitive, moving the screen closer to the driver as well. However, it still has that bothersome touchpad down on the center console. No contraire mon frere. And it does not have a passive phone charger, which is kind of disappointing because I like throwing my phone down there without having to plug it in and it just starts charging right away.
That's strange.
Trunk room, adequate, but it's a small opening, so you can't get big articles like a big box in there.
Golf clubs.
You can get golf clubs in there.
Okay.
Awkward touchpad on the center console. I mentioned that. What could use improvement? Well, there's some odd control placement, and you're unable to override that lane keeping assist steering thing. Okay. Every car's got its quirks. It's got those as well. A 2.5 liter inline 4-cylinder engine, 215 total system power. 215 horsepower total system doesn't seem like much, but it's connected to a CVT transmission. It is not a race car by any stretch of the imagination, but that's not what it's built for. This is a luxury sedan. 43 miles per gallon in the city, 44 on the highway for a combined of 44. I got 39 over 480.4 miles. What I liked? Hello, fuel mileage. What could use improvement? Looking forward to more battery power. Ride and handling. Controlled compliance. What could use improvement? Absolutely nothing. This is a businessman's long-haul, comfortable sedan. If you want to look good and not pay $1 bajillion for a nice sedan, this would be it. I was really impressed with it. Believe it or not, Don Armstrong. All right, base trim price $51,800. That's the trim price. As tested, $56,000. Base model price. If you want to just get into one of these cars, you can get into one, $41,900.
Wow,
which is a bargain. Competitors, well, I had to drill down into this because there aren't many competitors when it comes to the hybrid sedan models. They include Honda Accord Hybrid, starts at $27,320. The Hyundai Sonata Hybrid, $27,200. But if you want to get into the luxury side, then you're going to go to the BMW 5 Series Hybrid for $55,500, which would be probably its closest competitor.
Yeah.
But all of those are pretty nice cars, and the whole thing with this hybrid deal is that you're going to get some great gas mileage.
You know who owns one of these on a 2020 model? Jason and Caitlin. They own this vehicle. He leases it.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, he has good taste in cars.
He does. In fact,
maybe
Kathy,
it's because he works at the Lexus dealership.
it could be too, but Kathy wants to actually buy it when it comes off a lease.
Well, I'll tell you what. She may be disappointed in the actual pickup and go with the engine, but with the CVT transmission, it kind of negates that. And it's all about the gas mileage and the luxury. And boy, that ride.
The luxury. And that's why he bought it
God,
for.
that ride is just, you can't beat the ride.
She's styling. Yep. It's a good, it's a good
And there's
vehicle.
a big difference between the Japanese ride quality and the German ride quality. In other words, the BMW.
Right.
You really can't compare the two because they do ride differently. And it's noticeable if you put them back to back, and you notice the difference. And preferably, I would go for the Lexus. That's my
Yep.
own thing.
They enjoy it. They like it.
Okay. The In Wheel Time Car Show streams on the iHeart Radio app, which we're doing right now, and Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and InWheelTime.com. Podcasts available from your favorite podcast source. Mike cuts the 30-minute versions of those up and puts one up every day of the week, except Saturday when we are live. Hey, the In Wheel Time Car Show. We'll be back right after this quick break. Father's Day weekend, Saturday, June 18th, 2022.
I screwed
It's
up.
the next Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise In, and you're invited. Tailpipes and Tacos Father's Day edition will be at the same Loopy Tortilla in Katy, 8 to 11 a.m. on Saturday, June 18th. It's the only place cruisers compete for trophies and other prizes. Enter your vehicle for Best Hot Rod, Best Classic, and Best Modern Classic. Tailpipes and Tacos is Houston's coolest cruise-in and is your opportunity to see the best hot rods, show cars, classics, and resto mods, and get Loopy Tortilla breakfast tacos and adult beverages. There's no entry fee, and cars will automatically compete for custom Loopy trophies and other prizes. It all happens at the Loopy Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10. Kick off summer with Tailpipes and Tacos Father's Day edition, Saturday, June 18th. The In Real Time Car Talk Show will be there too. Celebrate Father's Day, the start of summer, and the return of Tailpipes and Tacos. Saturday morning, June 18th, 8 to 11. We'll see you then, weather permitting.
Tony Stewart Racing joins the NHRA Camping World Drag Racing Series, and his drivers, Leah Pruitt and Matt Hagan, will face off against NHRA stars including the legendary John Force Racing Team. Don't miss this battle of horsepower and performance. It's the final NHRA Spring Nationals event at Houston Raceway Park. Don't miss it, April 22nd through 24th. This is your last chance for nitro action in Baytown. Tickets at HoustonRaceway.com.
The In Wheel Time Car Talk Show is now part of the iHeart family. Now you'll have access to 24/7 Car Talk anytime you need a fix. Just download the iHeart Radio app and ask for In Wheel Time Car Talk, and there we are. Be sure to save us in your iHeart library for instant access. No matter where you are, you have the best Car Talk Show right on your PC, laptop, or mobile device and never have to worry about finding us again. Of course, you can always get access to our video and audio streams via InWheelTime.com and your favorite podcast channel, and all of this is free to you. From the iHeart Radio app, you'll not only hear our Saturday morning live show, but the best shows of the past, updated weekly. Never miss a minute of up-to-date new car reviews, pre-owned reviews, Conrad's Car Clinic, informative interviews, automotive news, and the most fun car talk show on the planet. Just download the iHeart Radio app, search for In Wheel Time Car Talk, save it to your library, and with a tap of the icon, you'll be in touch with your favorite Car Talk team. In Wheel Time Car Talk, streaming now on iHeart.com/InWheelTimeCarTalk.